Good evening, everybody. What's up? So, I like doing these late night videos. So, I'm just going to raw dog this video and just kind of put it up after I'm done. Um, but today, I kind of wanted to focus with Sprint. I wanted to focus with Sprint and just kind of tell you guys a little bit of cool things of what's going on. And also, um, we're going to dive deep into the top reasons why Sprint has such a bad name and such a bad reputation. Maybe Sprint will catch a hold of this video and kind of use this to help them pivot which way they should start going. So, first things first, I honestly believe that Sprint is about to, or is beta testing the ability to bring in more carrier unlocked devices. And the reason why I say that is because there's a new SIM card that's coming out, and it's an OTA SIM, is what it's known. And what this SIM card is for, it's being tested on a device called the Blue S1, also known as the Blue Vivo S. And the Blue Vivo S is a carrier unlocked device. And the SIM card, what makes it different compared to all the UICC cards that Sprint has for LTE connectivity for their smartphones that they sell, is that the OTA programming, provisioning for APN settings and whatnot, is not done to where those those uh, those settings, the APNs, are provisioned into the phone itself. Now, just kind of give you a little quick heads up. Sprint uses CDMA as its way of providing mobile phone service. So that differs from T-Mobile and AT&T, which uses GSM, which is all reliant on the SIM cards with their phones. With Sprint phones, you can pull the SIM card out, and the worst that would happen to your Sprint phone is you would only have 3G speeds. This is not including iPhones. iPhones, they're ubiquitous, so they've been like the first beta testing of a carrier unlocked phone that can transfer between GSM and CDMA. But so, anyways, this SIM card basically is provisioned with all the APNs on it, and the SIM card is able to be used in the Blue S1 or Blue Vivo S, and that's why I think they're testing the ability to use carrier unlocked devices. So I'm hoping everything goes well with this, because I would really love to see that I'd be able to use my Nextbit Robin on Sprint, since Nextbit never created the CDMA version to go to Verizon or Sprint. This would be actually pretty cool too. And then if this SIM exists for Sprint, then it's going to exist for Boost Mobile. So that's kind of like some quick news to kind of share with you guys. So just be on the lookout for that. The Blue S1, you're able to purchase it from Amazon or any other website. It's not actually going to be sold directly through Sprint, but if you buy one, you'll be able to bring it over to Sprint and activate it on there. And that particular SIM card is the one that works in it. I know there's other carrier unlocked devices that they support. The Moto G5 Plus and the Moto G5 is another two phones that is supported on Sprint. That's not Sprint eccentric, but the Moto G5 Plus and the Moto G5, I want to call them universal or hybrid phones, because I believe they are built with the support of CDMA bands, and so that's the reason why they were already able to be activated on Sprint. I know that even before that, the iPhone, ubiquitous phone, so it was able to be supported on Sprint for the longest time. So I think that's pretty cool that Sprint's going to go that route. Now, what I want to talk about in this video are the top 5 things that's the downfall for Sprint. Excuse me. Top 5 things that pretty much gives Sprint a bad name, and believe it or not, it has nothing to do with coverage. Someone's going to make that mention, but let me just kind of throw this in there. All providers have spotty areas, okay? Even Verizon has areas that their service is weak or almost non-existent. So I'm not even going to bring coverage into the mix, because that's a given. But what I know so far, and some of you guys may agree with me in the comment section of this video, and if you do, just let me know. There are 5 major things I want to focus on that is a downfall for Sprint and causes high churn rate for Sprint, and why Sprint loses customers daily. I want to say the 5th one is lack of support for carrier unlocked devices. that is one thing that has plagued Sprint for the longest time is that they don't allow unlocked devices onto their network. Sure, you have the Moto G5 Plus, and they're starting to dabble with the Blue S1. But prior to that, if you had like a Nexus, you either had to have a CDMA built one, or you were SOL. It wasn't only until the Nexus 6 came out that it was able to go across to Sprint, and then I believe the 5X and the 6P are able to support on Sprint's network, and then the Google Pixel from Verizon can actually come over to Sprint. The unlocked Google Pixel, I don't believe it can, but or it could. I may be wrong there, but it's slowly starting to come in that you could bring in unlocked devices. But that was one of the major downfalls because customers sometimes just want to buy out a phone and be able to use it wherever they want to use it. So that's number 5. Number 4 kind of ties in with number 5, and that is lack of integration of devices within. So with Sprint, which absolutely makes no sense, but there's only a handful of devices that they will actually allow to go across their prepaid subsidiaries, basically, which I think is kind of ridiculous. There's again the support of transitioning over is almost non-existent, even though Boost Mobile and Virgin Mobile are part of Sprint. It is considered, a port out or cancellation if a customer leaves Sprint and goes to Boost Mobile and Virgin Mobile, which to me it doesn't make any sense because you're still making money off of it. They're still going through your whole family, whatever you want to call it. They're still involved in it. And I don't know if the other carriers do the same thing, but I think it is absolutely ridiculous, because if a customer leaves Sprint postpaid, and goes to either Sprint Forward, Boost Mobile, or Virgin Mobile, then what's the problem? They're still with the company. You're still making money off of them. So that is like one of the things I think is a downfall for them, is that they don't play well with their prepaid, when their prepaid can actually be more beneficial for a customer that is wanting to leave, say go to T-Mobile or go to AT&T. Maybe you should start considering that if their needs actually fits them to be in a prepaid scenario rather than postpaid, then let them go to prepaid. So that's number 4. Number 3 has to do with their plans and their rates. While their rates are cheap, I will give them that. You get more for less, okay? So with their unlimited freedom plan is cheaper than what T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon offering. When you look at the fine print for Sprint, they're not capping out your streaming, okay? So with their unlimited freedom plan, you automatically already get streaming at HD 1080p included in the plan, along with 10 gigabytes of mobile hotspot, and there's not an additional thing you have to pay for those things. Those are already included in the plan. Downside to it is that Sprint pretty much, because they lack support financially, they can't build out their network to be strong enough to support those features. But what really kills it for customers is not the plan rates, but it's the combination of having a phone, a lease. And with that being said, store reps, they kind of always confuse the two, which is, to me, I honestly feel like is the reason why Sprint came out with the Sprint Lease Flex program, is because there was so much confusion between leasing and installment billing that they decided to just splice the two together. So if you don't know how the Sprint Flex works, basically it starts off as a lease, an 18-month lease, as a normal lease does. You pay monthly payments for 18 months. Now, when you reach the 16th payment, or you're on your 16th month, then you'll start getting notified by Sprint that, hey, you're coming up to your 18 months. Do you want to own the phone, or do you want to upgrade? If you want to own the phone, then you'll be purchasing the phone at the fair market value at the end of the lease term, which is basically, say if the phone was $600, and you were making payments for 18 months, and at the end of the 18 months, basically of the $600, $200 was remaining of that time you paid. Then at the end of the 18 months, the $200 is what you would have to pay to own the phone. Now you can pay in one lump sum, and own it out right then and there. But if you can't pay the $200, then you can also have the $200 broken up over 6 month payments and then completely pay it off. So basically being the full 24 months. So the thing is that's, for customers, they kind of get confused with that, the leasing and installment billing and the amount. And then of course a lot of the times they feel like they're paying too much, and really that's what makes their bill really high. So when you hear a lot of customers talking about their Sprint bill is absolutely high, it's not their rate plan that makes it high, it's the type of phone they chose. Luckily, Sprint actually has some pretty cool deals going on. I know they have like a tier 1 and tier 2 for the Sprint Flex program. um, Tier 2 basically is like devices that are mid-rangers. They're $25 down, $5 a month. And then you have your tier 1, which is actually reverse. Tier 1 is 25 down, 5 a month. Tier 2 is $30 down, $10 a month. And those are for, they're kind of mid-rangers, but a little bit above what a mid-ranger would be, but they're not flagships. So luckily they have those things. But yeah, that's one of the major downfalls for Sprint is, just all that in turn. I think a lot of customers on Sprint kind of want variety. Some of them are okay with doing the Sprint Flex program. Some of them are okay with being on a lease. Some of them are okay with installment billings, and then there's customers that still want the 2-year contract subsidized phone price. So I honestly think that Sprint would actually have it better if they would just bring back the 2-year contracts as well. Number 2 on my list basically is customer. Let's say customer service. Let's just start it like that. The unity in all three. Sprint reps are constantly fighting with each other because they all undercut each other. They freaking cap each other at the knees, and it's all about personal gain. And yes, while Sprint corporate for the rules and regulations they have for their employees, it pretty much stirs up a work environment that is stressful and way too competitive beyond actually being a healthy competitive. The reason why I say that is because it's one thing to be goal driven and like, hey, if you have less cancels this month, blah blah blah, you can have this, have that, blah 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 blah. They actually don't do that. They make it to where like store reps have to make their sales, and they pull some dirty, underhanded tricks and ended up screwing over the customer when they sign up with Sprint, and then it gets tossed over to us, and then we in account services have to fix everything that they've done wrong. And sometimes it sucks to have to tell a customer they have to go back to point of sale because that's where the issue started. They have to escalate it through their end. Customers don't want to be transferred around and bounced around. They get tired of that, and sometimes they're bounced around so much to different people that by the time they get to the right person, they don't care anymore. They just want to cancel their service and leave. So customer service, yeah, that needs to really be worked on. But the reason why that spot is number 2 is because the number one reason why Sprint has a high churn rate is they forget about their loyal customers who have remained with them for 20 years. A lot of times they see that people who sign up for new accounts are given some really killer deals, and believe me, they are. Being able to get a price plan where it's like you have 5 lines for $90. The first line's billed at 50, the second line's billed at 40, and then lines 3 to 5 is free, and that has to be done with auto pay. Without auto pay, lines 3 to 5 is $5. But that's fairly cheap. That's fairly cheap to what you would get if you went to T-Mobile and got 4 lines, or if you went to AT&T and got 4 lines, and same with Verizon. It's cheaper. But if a customer who's been with Sprint for 20 years calls in and says, hey, I seen an advertisement, 5 lines for 90, can I get that plan? They're told no, flat out. They're told no. This is a promotion for new customers. And it's like, what the hell? I spent 20 years with you guys. I paid you guys on time. I'm considered a really good customer. Why the hell can I not get this plan? And that's why I think it's really screwed up. There's not really anything in place for loyal customers versus getting a new account. And one of my things is like, yes, while you're hungry in the market of getting new customers to sign up with you, so you bait them with everything that you can to bring them over. You gotta stop You gotta stop the flow. That's the way I can explain it. So while you're bringing in customers, you want to stop the flow of customers exiting. So bringing in, exiting, you want to stop that flow. So while they're leaving, you want to slow that down and stop it, and just keep bringing in. Well, the only way you're going to do that is if you take care of the customers you have now. Because what's the sense of being able to bring over a new account when you lose a loyal account to back out to another provider? It just makes no sense. Your stream is going in and back out. You want to be able to stop the exiting stream and just bring in more. That's how you expand. And it's a no-brainer. A 5-year-old would figure that out. And that's something that I think that Sprint really needs to work on is show some love and support for their loyal customers for being loyal. Having your reps spit out a line of acknowledging how long they've been with the company is not enough to show appreciation for tenure and loyalty. You have to give something back. Um, so those are my top things of why Sprint is churning out. Hopefully you guys watch this video all the way till the end. I know they're pretty long videos, but hopefully you guys enjoyed them. And if you guys did, comment mellow yellow at the end. If you guys watch it all the way till the end, just comment mellow yellow and tell me what you guys think of Sprint. If you had a bad experience with Sprint, what it was. Leave me a story because I love to read those types of stories in the comment section of this video. If you guys enjoyed it, smash that like button to let me know. And yeah, good night, everybody. I'm going to head it to bed. Pretty tired. And yeah, I got work in the morning. So good night.